Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Mick Alfany. Now, I have two price predictions. One is a more reasonable price prediction we're going to cover. The other one is a very high price prediction, all right, that we'll get to in chapters 3 and probably 4 here. But I want to start here just to show you, like, there are problems greatly with not only the U.S. economy, but primarily with the U.S. dollar. Okay, the way that they've been handling the U.S. dollar, which obviously has huge implications for the new financial system, XRP, XLM, Algorand, etc. Right? This is an article from the dailyhodl.com, and it's titled U.S. Government Has No Option Except Currency Debasement. Now, this is something that I've been saying for a long time, that they're going to have to print money again at some point for a variety of reasons. And that is going to be disastrous, but we've seen it. It's a rinse and repeat thing. They just keep on repeating the same cycles. The dollar is in major, major trouble. A lot of people are going to say, no, it's not in trouble. And that makes no sense to me. When people are showing that their dollar, by way of what their own government has done, it doesn't buy you as much as it did in the 70s, 80s, or 90s, early 2000s. People are, making videos where they're showing they barely can buy this tiny little bit of groceries, right? Because they don't include that in the inflation data, right? Energy and was it like energy and food are excluded from that data, correct? So those prices, it doesn't matter if it's inflation or price gouging, but that dollar doesn't buy the same amount. So across the board, the dollar is weaker. Don't look at the DXY than before, which is something that the new financial system can solve. That's a problem that it can help with, right? You look at housing costs. So your dollar doesn't buy the same type of amount of property as it used to either. I mean, across the board, the dollar is weaker in all of these possible ways. Now some people are going to turn their head at it because they don't have that problem. They don't have to face that problem anymore. So they can sit on their high horse and say, well, this doesn't matter. The dollar isn't going anywhere because they're not affected that greatly. But the people on the ground, that's who I talk to. The people, the everyday people who work a regular job, who have a small, medium-sized business. And now because of the financial systems, the lending environment is tighter. Bank lending is tighter, which then means what? Because there's a tsunami of bankruptcies happening. Look up those articles on a tsunami of bankruptcies, right? Because there's a tsunami of bankruptcies happening right now. I'm going to tell you that's nothing. That's a small tsunami. Because of lending tightening, there's going to be so many jobs lost. I mean, the tsunami of layoffs is only beginning. And it's funny because it seems to me they're keeping it quiet. But I've been seeing videos where people are talking about, I stick to the financial videos where people are talking about, I was just laid off. And then you go in the comment section and everybody's like, I got laid off too. I got laid off. And so it's happening. But some reason it's happening quietly. But the bankruptcies are a little less quiet. This is all while they're chasing a lot of business offshore. Now, there's a lot of these like articles where they show you charts of like where millionaires live, and then it shows like nobody, and it shows you where millionaires are leaving. And it's very deceptive. I think that's very deceptive. And this is why I say this, because most people who have a high financial worth, they own multiple properties. So it's easy to say, well, they still live in the United States because they have a property there. They have a property there. That doesn't mean that's where they spend the bulk of their time. That doesn't mean it's their main hub. A lot of those people are almost never home. Trust me, I know. They're almost never home. Right? They're traveling. They're somewhere else. They have another property in Bali and somewhere, who knows, in Yucatan, So listen, currency debasement. They're saying there's nothing. And obviously, if there's currency debasement, then we're going to have another scenario where there could be an explosive bull market. They're printing way too many dollars. You have all this geopolitical tension going on. I know people don't care because they want to call names and fight each other in crypto. That's really what this person here, they're this and they're that, and they're a moon boy. Well, while the world is on fire, that's nonsense. That's silly. It's silly. We got real things to think about. And, no, I don't advise anyone to give anyone advice. You know what I'm saying? But I would say if anyone's going to suggest something, it's to be prepared. Be prepared at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Do what's best for you and your family. That's what I would say, not advice. I'm just screaming it into the air. Right? Let's go here real quick. Debasement. Debasement is a practice of governments, and in government debasement, governments make their debased coins legal tender, which is not something private mentors can do, given the practice cannot be easily engaged. So pretty much is when they print excess money, excess money. All right. Now, this is another article, right? So that's about currency debasement. This is another article before we get to the price predictions, right? This is from dailyhodl.com, and this is from a legendary investor, a legend. So all the people telling me, hey, Mick, the US dollar is fine. The US dollar isn't going anywhere. It's like the US dollar is being greatly diminished right now by its own government, by its own corporations, by its own private banks. Let's throw them in there, too, because private banks can create money as well. A lot of people don't throw them in. They only look at the US Treasury. Their own people are greatly devaluing it. And now you have these other countries, if they're successful, pitching in. Legendary investor. So now you can write me off. A lot of people try that. Oh, Mick, come on now, it's the US dollar. You're going to write this legendary investor off? He's not the only one. We've covered articles from economists everywhere, right? Sometimes we got to have these serious talks. I try to have a good time, but most of the time. But also there has to be variation when something gets serious, and it's getting serious, especially with what's going on right now with those battles around the world. That's serious business. It could affect everybody. That affects the global financial system for a variety of reasons. Just think about it. For a variety of reasons. Retaliation is number one. Involvement, military is another one. Militarily is another one. The stopping of certain commodities to wield them as weapons, that's another one. That's serious business. I wish everybody would just calm down. And I mean, anyway, legendary investor Jim Rogers warns era of US dollar dominance is coming to an end. Era of US dollar dominance is coming to an end. Is everyone going to write off the words of a legendary investor? Did people even watch this chapter? You know what I mean? Like, it's like I'm trying to get like the most important information out. I don't know if people hear it or not. I don't know. It says famed American investor Jim Rogers believes the long reign of the US dollar is drawing to a close. And he's sitting on dollars. But wait, he'll tell you. In a new interview with YouTube channel Nomad Capitalist, Rogers says the heydays of the American currency are shifting to the rear view mirror. According to Rogers, one currency that, he talks about the yuan possibly in the future taking the dollar's place if it's not manipulated, which the yuan is heavily manipulated to keep it where it is. A lot of people don't know that. It says here, quote, I own a lot of US dollars, but I know that the era of the US dollar is coming to an end. Are people hearing what he's saying? And then if you look at the real articles, right? Not real articles. How do I rephrase that? If you look at articles that are covering serious financial topics, they've been telling people that a lot of the big money has been pulling their capital out of banks and going into other things. Sometimes gold, sometimes other things, right? But why is that? Because they know that the dollar is in trouble. It says no currency stayed on top forever, no more than 100 to 150 years, none in history. And then he goes on to talk about the yuan a little bit more. And he says that there's something that's going to take the place of the dollar. It says the yuan is the only currency that I can see on the horizon that someday can compete with the dollar. He's not taking into account central bank digital currencies. There's a change of the age happening. While everybody's fighting and arguing, they're not looking at the changes that are happening. Too busy calling each other names. They're not looking at the landscape that the people have to survive this change of the age. And that's serious business. Survive. It's getting tougher and tougher and tougher out there. I see it. I recognize it. And I hope the people do well. That's why I try to provide the best information possible. spark something in people's minds, maybe, and, put them on their toes a little bit. It says, I hope, look at how he ends this quote. I hope something else comes along, but I don't see it yet. So something else could come along. This is why you're seeing articles about Bitcoin replacing the dollar, or the other article like we read in the last video, which I don't know if people understood that or not, of how Bitcoin and XRP would benefit from a collapse of the dollar. It doesn't mean the dollar has to go to zero. It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that. It means the dollar being greatly diminished at some point will benefit alternative currencies. Legal alternative currencies. And right now, gold is there, Bitcoin is there, and XRP is there. They're in the clear. Not even Ethereum is in the clear. They got so many enemies going on, coming at them. Now you have people claiming Ethereum is centralized, right? So not even Ethereum is completely in the clear. That's not to mention the allegations that of the relationship Ethereum had with SEC. So they're not even completely in the clear. So it's Bitcoin, XRP, and gold. Silver's in there as well. My apologies. Silver's in there as well. Right. But this is what a legendary investor is saying. I hope something else comes along, but I don't see it yet. So he's keeping out that possibility that there is something else. And of course, he throws in a little bit of shade at the BRICS nations, but you don't have to look at the BRICS nations when it comes to the collapsing of the dollar, the destruction of the dollar. The dollar's in big trouble. Just a little bit of research you're going to see. Just listen to the top economist. The top economist. This is what they do for a living. Then we've read some of theirs, and then we get people like this as well. If that's not reputable, I don't know what is. Now, maybe nothing happens. You get what I'm saying? Maybe nothing happens, but I'm watching it because it affects my life. Like if something does happen over the next few years, that definitely affects my life. I still have to transact in dollars in many different places. Or I still transact. I don't know that I have to, and then a lot of people that I care about transact heavily in dollars. Right. Not every place accepts crypto. So I'm keeping my eye on that. So you don't have to think about BRICS. Just look at what the United States is doing to itself, bringing down the value of their own currency. Anyway, so now let's go here to these price predictions, because I like to read that. I like to cover that material. Makes me feel good. I find it fun. It's interesting. I read the low price predictions. I read the high price predictions. I don't leave anything uncovered. I wasn't raised that way. I was raised to have 360 degrees of knowledge. Right. And we were raised in my environment, in my community, being able to discuss, debate things cordially. You learn that from an early age. I don't know where some people learn how to discuss things. They get the name calling and all this type of stuff. No. We would build. That's what they call it, building. Stand there and build, discuss a topic. Then you go research it, learn a little bit more. Then you become more prepared for the next conversation, the next debate. That's how I learned coming up. And then, of course, my father giving me things to research. Let me read this little tidbit here. It says that they're asking Google Bard. This is from finbowl.com. They're asking Google Bard about what will happen to XRP's price if Ripple wins against the SEC. And so Google Bard says this. It says Bard's prediction suggests that in the short term, the price of XRP could range from $2.50 to $3. I'll take it. I'm happy. Listen, I'm happy if XRP gets past $1. I'm celebrating that day because I know it's the beginning of something. I think XRP can go high. I don't ask other people to think that. How is that a bad thing? Right. A lot of people, they want an enemy. They want someone so they can call them Moon Boy or things like that. I don't expect people to agree with me. I don't want them to agree with me. I'm presenting the information that I have. I don't know when it'll happen. I just believe that the trajectory of all this leads to a very, very high XRP price. Take it how you want. I didn't put a number on it, did I? I just said very, very high. So what number did you think about? You see? So they'll get mad because they think of this insane number. And it's like, that insane number might not be insane to someone else. Maybe it doesn't go there. Maybe it does. Who has the crystal ball? Nobody has a crystal ball. But just like people may feel, others should not say with a guarantee that XRP is going to be this higher price. Shouldn't that work the same in the opposite direction? Saying with a guarantee that it's going to be this lower price? There got to be some balance here, folks. You get what I'm saying? So I look at the low and I look at the high, and I let the catalyst lead, and I let the catalyst tell me where everything's going. $2.50 to $3 seems pretty reasonable to me. Seemed pretty doable to me. And at that price range, in my humble opinion, XRP will still be dirt cheap. Dirt cheap. And here's another thing. A lot of people, they got to understand this. They don't get this because, see, a lot of people are well off who are commanding everybody. They're well off. They're done. Right. So they don't care if XRP goes to a high price or low price. It's like, it doesn't make sense to me sometimes. Certain verbiage. It's just like, what, you got into XRP to make peanuts? You got into XRP to make a little bit of money? That's it. Well, somebody might say, well, they have tons of XRP, so it just has to go to a reasonable price and they'll be okay. All right, that's not everybody. That's not everybody. I know a lot of people talk to me. I communicate with a lot of people. Some people might have 20 XRP, 10, 500. So they have this hope. They're doing their research, and this is what their research tells them, that it could go to this certain high price. That's their opinion. Nobody has a crystal ball. But the problem is that there's so many people that want to come in and rob them of their hope when that high price gives them hope in a tough life. They know it's no guarantee. They know it's no guarantee. But the hope is like, okay, maybe one of these assets might take off so I can live a little bit better, pay some more bills. Not everybody is well off. They forget that. A lot of people forget that. A lot of people are still in the struggle, and they are a part of this so-called community. I don't respect the devouring of their minds, the devouring of them, the destruction of them. So anyway, let's go here. I got another one here. I got another price prediction here, right? I appreciate you people being here. Whoever made it this far into the video, thank you greatly for being here. I'm telling you now, I will never forget you. I'm telling you now, I will never forget you. I don't know your real names unless you used it as a screen name, but I won't forget your computer names. It don't matter. That's what you go by. As far as in my mind, in my heart, that's what you go by. I will never forget you. No matter what happens with this channel, no matter what happens in life, I won't forget you. I don't know if that matters to people or not. Like, oh, Mick, you be like, listen, it take a lot. You got to be strong to show love, man. It's not enough love in this world. It's too much hate. Too much hate. And you don't know where hate comes from, and rage comes from the weak. It comes from the weak. They're not strong enough. It's easy to rage. It's easy to hate. It's easy to call people names. Children do that. Children do that. It takes strength to be calm. It takes strength to show love. It takes strength to say, I appreciate you. How many of us need more appreciation in life? That's my people. I appreciate it. I'm going to give you a dap. That's what we used to call it. Handshake. We didn't call it handshake. We call it, give me a dap. And we didn't even always shake hands. We'd do like this. Boom, boom, power. But we show each other respect and love, And we's all fighters. So we know what it is to be humbled. We know what it is to be. We know other people. There's always someone who may be struggling worse than you. All right. They don't need that extra stress. You don't need that extra stress. You have things to overcome in your life, right? So we try to show each other respect. This is how I grew up in my community. I keep that same energy now. Everybody needs some help sometimes. Like, what are we really here for in life? What are we really, what is our purpose? Do we want to live good? Does that just come from raising ourselves up by stepping on other people? No, not me. Not me. Not me. When I've had my struggles in life, and there were kind people that they were like angels from the heavens. Yeah, I'm gonna use that just like that. And it's like they reached down and gave me a hand and lifted me up and showed me love when they didn't even need to. They didn't even know me. They just had that goodness in their heart. So I always have that in my mind. And I think to myself, like, I always want to be like that, like show people love and respect. People hate that love. They don't like it sometimes. I swear, that love turns to hate so fast. But that's strength. That's strength. Presenting yourself as is, that's strength. Not trying to pretend. I don't pretend when I get on this camera. I'm the same way I am off the camera as I am on the camera. I talk the same way. Presenting yourself as is, man. Accepting yourself. That's a whole other thing of health. Being healthy, accepting yourself. You don't always have to shave. You don't always have to have your hair done. Be natural sometimes. Be comfortable, Feel comfortable. We put so much burden on ourselves in life all the time. I live like a monk most of the time. I like it. Just bare necessities. I like it. Nice, peaceful, quiet. You know what I mean? I like to meditate. I'm not worried. When I go out there into the world, I'm not worried about, what people look like, or, superficialities that burden the mind. No, I present myself as is. And I accept people in that opposite direction for what their heart presents to me. Does their heart have love in it? Okay, I'm going to deal with them this way. Do their heart have hate in it? Okay, I'm going to deal with them that way. That's how I look at it. Anyway, so this article here is from thecryptobasic.com. And it's titled Market Watcher. It doesn't, like, the titles that they give to people in articles. Some people get so upset with it. It's just like, I don't control what they call the people in articles. And sometimes I'll snatch the article title and use it as the video title because it's a good title. And if you don't have a good title on YouTube, you will get no views. People do not care. It's two things people like on YouTube: good titles and drama. That brings to people all these views, So if you don't have any drama, you have to have a good title. There you have it. All right. So anybody's trying to start a YouTube channel, that's a little piece of it. It says Market Watcher forecasts 26,720% XRP rally to $130 after 7 years of suppression. I don't know if XRP is going to reach it to $100 or not. I hope it does. I want it to. I don't know when. If it does go to that, I don't know when. So this is coming from someone named XRP Captain. It says a crypto analyst and a prominent member of the XRP community made this prediction while discussing XRP's price movement since 2017. The influencer presented a weekly chart detailing the formation of a symmetrical triangle. Let's scroll down here. So they go over a lot of charts and things like that. I want to get down to this 130 because I don't want to waste any time. And I like to talk to everybody and just speak my mind at times. So I never want to listen to someone and I don't really know them. I don't care if they're a researcher or not. Like, I like to actually know something about the people that I'm watching. So that's how I feel if I'm going to watch someone. So when I do things, I try to I let my mind go so you can learn a little bit about me. How do I listen to someone and trust their research if I don't even know them? Like, why would they? I don't know how to explain that. I don't know how better to explain that. I don't trust people I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel that way. I feel like I'm very cautious. I'm like, I don't know. Are you, if you're trying to guide me a certain way, you know what I mean? Like, I think like that. Like, I'm not trying to guide anybody anywhere here. I try to spread a little bit of goodness through my attitude, through my behavior most of the time. I have rough days sometimes, and I might come in a little intense at times. That's just me being a person. My life may be different from others. You know what I mean? You know how they have that old poem, "My life ain't no crystal stair." I get that. I 100% understand that poem now. What was it? Something like that. Life ain't no crystal stair. Something like that. My apologies, folks. I can't remember everything. Anyway, being completely random, let's get back to this price prediction. XRP Captain sets a lofty price target of $130 for when XRP breaks out. And when I hear that, I feel great. I feel amazing. I do. I don't know. Other people share that, like when they hear something about XRP, like, yes, I hope. I don't know. I don't claim to know. I'm not trying to tell people it's a guarantee. No. But when I read it, I feel excited. Like, I see the banks, I see the partnership, I see all of that, and it's like one thing you don't hear a lot. At least I don't see these price predictions often. It's just like once in a while. From my research, I have like at least 32 articles up here. We only went through 32 articles up here. Only 2 of them are price predictions. So when I do hear something, and it's very rare because the people, once again, that believe in higher price, they get it the hardest. I don't really watch a lot of videos either. I mostly watch the financial videos like on TikTok because it's real quick at night. After I'm done everything, the day is over, work day is over. Boom, 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 going through TikTok real quick. Some financial channels on YouTube as well. Go to financial channels. I get through there. And I love the ones that cover a lot of different information. There's not a lot of those around that I found, you know what I mean? But I like those channels, not just because they remind me of how I like to do research, but I like to know the entirety of the global economic spectrum. It's just I find it interesting. But those people that put out the price predictions, oh man, the people come against them so hard. But I love it. It makes me feel great. So yeah, I hope. I don't know that it's going to go to 130, but I hope so. I hope it can. I'll take it if it does. And I'm here until whenever, like I said, don't take it as though I'm speaking for you, right? When I say, or take it, I don't know how people get offended by certain things. When I say that I'm willing to stick it out through thick or thin with XRP, well into the future. That's just me. And I say this because I've experienced this from some people. It's like they get very upset and like, well, that's just you, it's 2 more years, 3 more years. I don't know how long. I just know that I'm willing to hang in there, put that on the cold wallet, the XRP on a cold wallet, and put the cold wallet away. That's what I'm doing. And I'm keeping up with the news to know when it might happen, or if it's making progress towards that happening, right? Because once it happens, people are going to need to make moves depending on what price targets they have set, because the volatility is going to be nuts and there's no guarantees in anything. So they might have to make some move. They might have to chop some off the top and move that somewhere safe. So I don't know. So that's the way I look at it. So it says for XRP to hit this target, it must rally 26,720% from its current price of 48 cents. Okay. All right. If it's moving trillions for the banks, maybe it stands a chance. I don't know. We'll see. If it's moving trillions of tokenized everything, maybe it stands a chance. We shall see. I'm going to tell you what, when that time comes, man, life, I'm telling you what, it's about a journey for me. The journey is over. Once they get to that point, the journey is over, man. I like to find a quiet spot on earth, quieter, this place, not so, yeah, this neighborhood is okay, and get a little noisier as more people move into the neighborhood, you know what I mean? But I like it to be super, I'm gonna find a super quiet place. I'm not a person who, I don't get into much, like give me a good book, somewhere to exercise. Really, I don't really need much, really, to tell you the truth. I'm like trying to think. I'm like, wait, man, I'm simpler than I thought. Yeah, I keep things simple, man. Let me meditate a little bit. I'm gonna do some qigong somewhere, do some qigong. I just want some peace and quiet. That's it. I just want some peace and quiet, and I'll move on to the next puzzle. A lot of other puzzles out there to be solved. I look at crypto as a puzzle. So that journey will come to an end. I don't know, man. It's like, I would love to be able to cover crypto forever. Like I love crypto itself. I love the protocols. I love the information. I love putting the puzzles together, figuring out what the heck this crazy thing is going to do next. I like it. I like that. There's a lot of aspects that I don't. It's a constant war. It's a constant war. It just wears you down. Constant war. Especially with the companies. The companies, man. The companies make it the hardest. They do. They make it the hardest, man. That's why I love companies. Once again, I'm just telling the truth. I don't have any relationship with Ripple or Quant, but I respect them because they put out a lot of information. They make it easy to find stuff. They don't make it a secret what their agenda is. I like that. They make it very interesting and fun to be a researcher. They don't try to suppress the information, keep it to themselves, leave the people that invested in their native currency hanging. They don't do that. That means a lot to me. I respect that. The fact that they threw like for example, because Ripple threw that party just for the people. That wasn't for themselves. They could have just made an announcement, say, "Oh, we feel this way," had a small private get together, whatever. No, they did it for the people. It wasn't to promote their stuff. Not that I saw. Maybe I'm wrong, but it looked like it was mostly for the people. And then when the people came out of that Ripple gathering, this is what they said. Well, we had a good time. They had a great time. It was for the people. I like that respect that they give. They're strong enough to give respect and strong enough to fight. I like that. I respect that. Other companies are not like that. They suppress the information and then still want praise. Like, no, you suppress the information, then you still want praise. Then you really don't even talk about your native cryptos that much. Like they don't exist. Like, come on. Nah, man. All the while you liquidate your native token to fund everything that you do. So you're willing to use the capital from the native token, but not talk about it in a light that brings more light to it for the so-called investors. I mean, are the investors supposed to be just certain companies' piggy bank? You see, it's like the companies make things very, very difficult, very, very difficult sometimes, And in that way, I feel like crypto will need to mature much, much more. I do feel that way. I think that part of the legacy system getting involved is going to change a lot of that. There's a lot of negative aspects to the legacy system. Don't get me wrong, but they do have some positive. Listen, in the dark, there's a little bit of light. In the light, a little bit of dark. They're two opposite ends of the same thing. Like, where does hot begin and cold end, and where does cold begin and hot end? It just kind of blurs at a point. That's how I look at it. So the legacy system, it does have its positive points. They take things very seriously. They don't play around. They can be at times very demented, but they're very serious. Very serious. Hey, if you made it this far, a lot of these episodes, these shows are on YouTube Music as podcasts. You could just listen to them. You could turn your phone off, listen to it on your phone, or I don't know what device people have anymore. I don't know what's popular. But it's available on YouTube Music if you have YouTube Music. And if you type in Alphanim or Mick Alphanim, you're probably going to see 3 different podcasts. One was my old Apple Music, Spotify podcast. I haven't done it in a while, but I probably won't be at the top anymore. Then you'll have my Mick Alphanim channel podcast, which is my global economic and financial channel, which I want that to do good because I want to cover so many things. I do. I want to talk about the things that are going on in all of the different sectors that are interesting to me. That's what that's for. And then you'll see that one. And then you'll also see this one here for the crypto channel. They're putting out these videos as podcasts now. So you can listen to them. We don't have to watch. You can listen to them. So that should make things a little bit easier for a lot of people, I think. You don't have to burn the battery out on your phone, keeping your screen on if you're going to sleep. I don't know if people watch it on TV. I have no idea, how this content is consumed. I don't know. But that's interesting. I like podcasts. I listen to YouTube Music a lot. Like, I love their platform, honestly. I stopped using Apple Music because of YouTube Music, and they got a lot of stuff on there that they don't have on Apple Music. A lot of mixtapes and stuff like that they have that Apple Music just doesn't have. When I was younger, there used to be a lot of music mixtapes and bands. Like, I listened to all types of stuff when I was younger. So should I keep talking? Can I keep talking? People are, when the videos get longer, people don't want to watch, as if they're forced to watch the entire video. So I'm taking off my watch. Make my hand feel uncomfortable. When the videos are longer, people act like they're forced to watch the whole thing, so they just won't watch it all. Which is like, sometimes it's like, oh man, like I put in all this work for it. I'll be feeling like that sometimes. Like, I put in all this work, just watch a couple minutes. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard work. Sometimes there's really no news. You got to dig. So anyway, I'd be wanting people to at least watch a little bit. Anyway, so back to the what do you call it? The like mixtapes and albums. I listened to everything when I was growing up. And that's why I feel like my mind is very different than other people's. I've never been limited as far as what I take in. Right. So I give you a couple examples of 360 degrees of experience. Right. So growing up where I grew up, it was like super diverse, right? And I mean, like, people were just literally, they were the first of their generations in this country, right? And so, of course, my family is super diverse as well. So I'm already getting a lot of experience with food. This is what I'm giving example with food. But a lot of my closest people were from El Salvador. Man, let me tell you, I love Salvadorans to this day. That's my people, right? So they feed me all this Salvadoran food. Oh, I love it. Right. No, that didn't stop me from my other close people, like family to me, Puerto Rican. I'm over their house. They're feeding me all this different Puerto Rican. I'm eating that food. I'm trying everything. I love it all. Go over my other people's house. They're from Haiti. My guy's mom cooking, my friend, mom's cooking some food. Right, you want some of this? I'm eating that food. I'm trying everything. I'm eating the Jamaican food. I'm eating the Italian food. I'm eating everything. And, and I was like, I communicate all these people and we all coexisted. It was, what a beautiful time period it was, in my humble opinion. And so I'm getting all these experiences. I'm learning different languages, learning how people talk. I'm accessing all this food. And I feel like I'm gaining like knowledge, you know what I mean? Whereas a lot of other people, they only knew like a few things, maybe like had like one experience or so. So same thing with music, leading into another example of, I think, trying to develop 360 degrees of mind, right? Where your mind is learning a little bit of many things, but gaining like a base of understanding that all leads to a similar reality. Does that make sense? Man, I would listen to hip hop. I listen to punk rock. Pop punk. Like, listen, when we were younger, you had like music, video, TV and stuff like that, of different kinds. You had like the low rent one. You had to pay money to watch the videos and stuff like, well, other people will order the videos and you could watch what they ordered. Everybody's sitting there hoping that somebody ordered, right? You had that. And you had like MTV. I don't even know if that exists anymore. sorry, folks, I don't watch TV like at all. I might, when I say TV, like that mainstream stuff, I don't watch that. I might watch an old school movie. I'll order an old school movie off of Amazon Prime, once in a while. It made me feel great. I might watch like Jurassic Park, 1993 one, Daylight with Stallone. I love Daylight. Cliffhanger with Stallone. Like, I love that stuff. Predator 2 was my favorite with Danny Glover. I love Predator 1 too. So I don't know if MTV exists. But when I was younger, I did. So you would get access. You would see Bone Thugs and Harmony come on TV. That's hip hop. You would see, right after that, you might have, Blink 182 come on, that's pop punk. You're like, okay, what is this? Hey, I like this sound. Okay, all right. You might have something like metal come on, like heavy metal, like Tool come on, and you're like, oh, what is this? And if you don't turn away, you're absorbing all of these different things, all of these different culture. You're learning like, okay, there's a lot of different stuff in the world, but everybody's trying to convey some sort of message. At least back then. I don't know about the music now. I listen to old school stuff now from when I was younger. I don't really listen to new stuff these days. I just don't like a lot of the messages in them, right? But yeah, Tool that might come on. That what a strange video. I think it was called Schism, or was that the album name, or was it Parabola? I don't know, Parabola, whatever. But I'm absorbing these different things, R&B. Right. And then I like to try a lot of stuff. So listen, I've tried rap, singing, making pop punk songs, stuff like that. Like I tried to gain this experience that would help my mind develop as far as it could possibly develop. I always wanted to understand things fully. And I think that's something that's getting lost in the world now, is trying to understand things fully. So many minds are being cut off and being limited, through a lot of different ways. Some people cut off and limit themselves. And some people cut off and by others who are just going to they just verbally come at you all the time, make you feel little because of how you think or an idea you may have. And I'm telling you, a lot of the times, those people that go against the grain, those people that see something differently, those are some of the most brilliant people. They may seem a little eccentric because they're different. But they have these minds that see what's not there. They're visionaries. They build things for the future. They see what's coming in the future. And I'm not saying it's always that way, but they have developed this fuller mind state where they feel that every day their mind is growing, that it hasn't stopped. They haven't reached this high level where, they haven't reached this high level, that there's another level. There's always more to grow. Whereas the body can stop growing, the mind never stops growing. You can always learn more. Those are special individuals. They have the visionary eye is what I call it. I try my best throughout my life to be that, to become something like that. And this research is a part of it. This is just merely a part of it, So I think I'm going to end off with this today, and I hope that you all will be back tomorrow, and you'll be with me tomorrow. I hope so. I would like to continue to be able to come to you. So anyway, I'll say this. I think that the old system as a whole will collapse completely at some point. I just don't see it being able to chug along. I think it happens in the next 5 years. I think something, unless things change, but I haven't seen the propensity towards change just yet. And I think when that happens, that's when a great wealth transfer is going to occur. I think so. And there's going to be quite a few. There's going to be quite a few different assets that explode because of that collapse. But it's not so many assets that everybody has access to them or has them. It's not. It's going to be a small group of people. I think the financial systems are going down. I think societal connections between the people are going to get out of control. There's just too many people that are upset with each other and they want to fight each other. And I've seen a lot of fights in my life And after a while of people talking for a long time and yelling at each other, it started to get physical after a while. Oh, you're not going to do this. Oh, I hate you. And they start, all this arguing. Then the physicality starts. So it's like it's happening a little bit slower with society, but it's just too much, just too much contention, in my humble opinion. And sooner or later, I just don't think it's going to be good. So I think something like that is possible as well. I think everything rises and falls, everyone. Everything rises and falls. And I think that right now, and I hate to say that, but I'm being as truthful as I can, 100% from my heart and my mind to yours. But I think that right now is a great fall for, I'll just say the West, but globally, it really is happening globally. But since we're in the West, I'll highlight that. I think it's time for a great fall. And after that, things will rise again. It always happens. Everything has its cycles, right? It's spring and it's winter. Spring, everything grows. Beautiful time period. Summer, it persists. And in winter time, fall and winter, it goes away. And I think we're hitting a fall winter period, where things are beginning to break down. Financial system breaking down, education system breaking down, focus on what is important breaking down, relationships between people breaking down. And I think that a few are going to rise. Who can pinpoint which assets 100% is going to be? Not financial advice. In my humble opinion, I think we're on to a few of them. And there's going to be ones that we don't see either. But we'll see. We'll see. Once again, not financial advice, just my humble opinion. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, let's get to the money.